Hello and welcome to the BitSocket videos celebrating the end of 2015.
Yeah, it's Christmas, we've got our tree, we've got our lights, we're feeling Christmassy, it's very cold outside, and we're going to get started in some celebrations of the year that's gone past. Before we get started, actually, I've got something for you. I'll just find it. I just
wonder what it is.
It's just back here.
Is it?
It's just back here. Give me, I'll be 2 seconds. It's almost there. I'm getting it.
Okay.
It's quite far down here. There we go. There we go.
Oh, what?
That's for you.
What is it?
Open it.
Let's have a look.
It's a wee video.
Joe, what's this?
It's our first video.
Is this a video of underappreciated games of 2015?
It might just be.
Nice.
Boxboy is an absolute delight. A puzzle platformer that came out in the 3DS at the start of the year from HAL Laboratory. It's fun and properly challenging too. You play it as a wee box with legs, and the key to traversing the stages is using other boxes which come out your body to block lasers and get you through tight spaces or to save you from falling into a pit. The levels can be pretty tricky at times, and there's a limit as to how many boxes you can use and rewards for being as efficient as possible. An essential purchase for your pocket.
I can see things that no one else can.
This is the 5th entry in a niche horror series on an unpopular console, and it only received a very limited run of 5 copies exclusive to one shop? Of course you didn't play it. And don't pretend you downloaded it off the eShop either, because if you're anything like me, those precious gigabytes in your Wii U storage are like rare sparkling gold dust. And that's a shame, because Project Zero is a wee gem. It's not scary in a jump out of your seat and shite yourself kind of way, but it's quiet and it's slow and it creeps into you in a way that makes you scared to walk through your own hallway in your own home in the middle of the night. At least it did that for me. The going theory is that if you've been a fan of the Project Zero games so far, this one is a wee bit disappointing. But for folk like me who have never experienced the terror of walking slowly through creepy Japanese locations taking pictures of ghosts, it's a slow burning classic.
Let us fall together.
Now the reason you might have missed SteamWorld Heist is because, well, it's only just come out. And to be honest, it's become one of my favourite games on the 3DS. It's absolutely busting full of character and it's got perfect bite-sized missions. It's a turn-based shooter with procedurally generated levels, so there's a lot you'll get out of this one. There really is a few things quite satisfying, as lining up a gunshot to ricochet all around a level just to knock the hat off a robot. While it's only on the 3DS right now, it'll be coming to everything else in 2016. Get it, you'll love it.
The Dreamcast lives! It's alive! Look, it's a brand new game and that proves it. The Goose Bleed is a small, independently made shoot 'em up for idiots like me who still have their Dreamcast plugged in and like to pretend it's still the turn of the millennium and life was good. And it's a lovely wee thing. It's not going to challenge Ikaruga or Gradius anytime soon, but it's fast, it's full of bullets, it has a properly banging soundtrack, and look, just look at it. Beautiful, detailed sprites filling the screen, and explosions that, well, they slow things down a bit, but look, it was made by a guy in a shed somewhere in Germany, alright? If you're also in denial about the progress of video games and still cling to your Dreamcast like I do, then get on to QCast's website and buy Goose Bleed right now.
Transformers Devastation, a wee beaut from Platinum Games. While it doesn't feel like a big budget release, there's an obvious love for the source material that shines right through. It's a real bread and butter game from Platinum, but that's not to say it's not worth your time. While you may get more out of it if you're a big Transformers G1 fan, which I'm not really, you'll find a solid and fun action game. It's not up there with the likes of Bayonetta and the beautiful, the brilliant Vanquish, but you're going to have a real good time.
It's a real shame that Square Enix decided to make the demo of probably the biggest Final Fantasy game ever an exclusive for folk that bought Final Fantasy Type 0. This game is... Right, I know Final Fantasy fans are turned off by anything that doesn't have turn-based random battles and airships and stuff, but it would have been great if the demo was more widely available, because then more folk would get to see that Final Fantasy 15 is shaping up to be something pretty special. It has fast, dynamic combat with a real risk-reward system where you have to be careful about dodging and using special moves, and a sprawling, beautiful world to explore. I've spent hours just running around, and the more I've played, the more I start to think, and I'll be very careful saying this, but I start to think that maybe, just maybe, Final Fantasy 15 will end up being incredible and worth the 10-year wait it's been since it was first revealed. So come on, Square Enix, do the right thing, make the demo available to everyone. More folk should play this great demo.
Takedown!
But by the grace of the gods, go we mortals.
Wasn't that lovely, Scott?
It was, Joe.
And so you see, gaming isn't always about the big games that come out. Sometimes the wee ones are just as important and just as wonderful as all the big AAA releases, aren't they?
That's what my mum keeps telling me.
Yep. And so now it's time for the main course, but we don't have any turkey, do we?
No turkey. What are we going to do? Oh, look at that.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Where did it come from?
Turkey with all the trimmings, as if by magic.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hello,
Wait.
boys.
Can you hear that?
Hello, it's me.
Is it talking?
I'm the video game Christmas Turkey.
Speaking to us.
What's it saying?
I'm here to tell you the top 5 games of the year.
It's going to tell the top 5 games of the year. Did you hear that?
That's amazing. How's it going to tell us?
I don't know. Where are they? Where are they?
They're inside me, boys.
Inside it. You're going to have to reach in and get them.
No, we can...
No, you're going to have to get... Go on. Go on. Go on, be a man. Go on, reach in. It's just a turkey. Put your hand up its arse and grab it. Go on.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's
oh,
it.
yeah, pig.
On you go.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Oh, that,
What's it like in there?
It's just, you're a bit there. Just a wee bit further in.
So what's number 5?
It's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Metal Gear Solid 5 marks the end of an era. It's the final chapter of one of our favourite video game series here at BitSocket, and what an ending. It's the biggest Metal Gear game, by far, with the most play options available for stealthy infiltration, probably the best gunplay the series has ever had, and an entire military base to expand and manage. You couldn't ask for more from this game. Well...
So Metal Gear Solid 5, why is it not number 1?
That's a tough question to start on. It's such a good game. I mean, I can't. We need to emphasise this. It's an amazing game. It's just a little bit disappointing.
I think when you start playing it, the first, and it is like the first chunk of the game, like is amazing. Like when you first start playing it and you realise what the stealth is going to be for the game, and you take your first base and you do your first few objectives. It is amazing to play.
I mean, the moment-to-moment gameplay, it's like Ground Zeroes. You know, the controls are really tight.
Yeah.
Technically, it plays better than Metal Gear ever has played.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
But then eventually, what happens?
It's just the repetitiveness.
Aye.
It's like you start going back to the same areas time and time again.
You end up going back to the same bits again to do things that you've already technically done before, like go in and steal a prisoner, or go in and kidnap somebody, or go and steal a thing, or whatever. And so you end up, alright, okay, I'm starting to hate this place now, which is a shame because, as we said, it's such a good game to actually play. It's just all the sort of filler around that.
Yeah.
And also, for a Metal Gear game, there's not really much story to it.
Because it's so long, the story is so spaced out that it gives this illusion of no story, and it does have a story. But I think the thing is, there's a lot to it. It's actually quite dense at times, but it feels like, oh, it's been 2 hours since anyone's spoken about that now.
Yeah.
I wonder what's happened, and you lose track. And then there's elements of other characters like Quiet, and even like Miller and Ocelot, who aren't really explored.
Yeah, they're not really involved that much.
Some people are there, but you're like, you find yourself thinking, definitely by the end of the game, it's like, why are these people in the game?
But I do think, no, it's a huge step up from Peace Walker. Like, see, some of the boss fights are much better than Peace Walker's were. Like, I love the big fight with this game's big mech, Sahelanthropus. It's great.
I love saying that.
There's so many good moments in it, and then getting the dog and all that. I love that dog.
There's so much to enjoy in it, but for Metal Gear Solid fans, there is something that feels a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, and it's hard to explain why without sounding a bit sour.
It's amazing.
I mean, I know we sound so negative about it, but we do love it. We do love it. We're just a little bit disappointed.
Well, that's game number 5 now. Time to find out what game number 4 is.
You sure you don't want to go?
No, on you go. It's facing your end. On you go.
We could...
No. Cheers.
Okay.
On you go.
Oh, is this thing cooked?
It's perfectly cooked. Look, it's perfectly cooked, aren't you?
Because that's...
Number 4.
Bloodborne.
What can I say about Bloodborne that hasn't already been said? Okay, Well, it's a dating sim. A dating sim that's far more accessible and fast-paced than the previous dating sims in the series. A dating sim covered in blood.
So, explain the appeal of Bloodborne to me then.
So, you know how Dark Souls is really, really hard?
Yes.
Bloodborne is also really, really hard.
Oh, okay.
But it's faster.
Okay.
So when you're moving
Hard
around...
and fast.
Hard and fast.
Right.
The way... I like it. The way it works is... Like in the Souls games, the core Souls games, it's all about kind of attack and defend, attack, defend. Some people just go pure attack. I couldn't because I'm crap at them. So I'd constantly be hiding behind my shield and trying to dodge around, and it was always kind of slow. And sometimes you'd feel like if you're wearing, you'd find good armor, you'd be like, oh, I'm really protected now. But your guy was moving like he was moving through treacle.
Right, yeah.
So you couldn't dodge anything. There's this, everyth's so immediate.
I'll tell you what I love about it. I love the way the game looks. I've never seen a game look so bleak but also so beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the art style of it's incredible. I'm about to say.
And that appealed to me a lot because I think the Souls games, although obviously a lot of design went into the bosses and the areas and everything like that, it did look a wee bit like your regular Knights of the Old Table kind of. Knights of the Old Table.
Knights of the Old Table.
Knights of the Old Table. It doesn't look like, it's a classic and there's a big knight with a big sword and a big shield, whereas this has lots of different elements to it. And the weapon system works really well, so you've got...
transforming weapons, it looks so cool.
I know, some of them are. And to be honest, through most of the game I just used the main first weapon I got, the big saw blade, because it looks amazing when you flicks it out like a big cutthroat razor. It's a really cool game. There are really tough moments, but it's the only game in that series that I've completed all the way through.
Right.
And it definitely felt way more like approachable, and it felt way more achievable than the Souls game ever have before for me.
And definitely one of the best games of the year.
You need a break? Huh?
No.
Right, well, let's go on with it. And number 3. Go on, let's find out what number 3 is. Go on. What? It's in the turkey. You need to get it.
I hate this turkey. Number 3. The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3. Finally a game which lets me fulfil my fantasy of watching two video game characters shagging on a stuffed unicorn. The Witcher 3 is a stunning game, massive in its scope, but with a story that hits some very tender notes.
What's it matter? Only ever thought of you.
How big's this game? Am I going to finish it?
You're never going to finish it.
Have you finished it?
I've finished it. Well, I've finished the main story. I'm playing through the DLC at the moment.
Right, okay. And it's one of your favourite games of the year?
It's stupendous.
What makes it different from the open world of Metal Gear? Like, why do you like this one better?
I think, for me, what makes a really good open world is the feeling of like life. You'll say, right, I'm going from this town to go pick up a contract, and in between that you'll just come across like a monster might just walk across your path. You might just get lost down a pathway and find like a house you can explore in, and I think a lot of it comes through the way the world looks. And it's a gorgeous looking game.
Is it one of the games where you can play as a nice guy or play as a dick, or are you always a dick?
Geralt is a nice guy at heart, but it doesn't mean he's always nice to everybody.
Right.
So, and that's fun as well. Like a lot of these other games, like Elder Scrolls, for example, you go a cipher. You don't really go a character. You're just like a floating text box.
Right.
Whereas this, he's got a distinct character. There might be times when you're like, I want to say something nice to this guy, and Geralt will come out with something. You're like, fucking cheeky bastard. but what's fun about that is you're never quite sure where it's going to go, and you definitely feel like you are a defined person within this world, rather than just being like, oh, you're the chosen one.
Yeah.
You've no character.
Yeah.
You're just the chosen one, this blank person. And like the combat's really good fun. It's a mass. I mean, I was a big fan of The Witcher 2 as well, and it's night and day, so different. Again, like a bit like Bloodborne as well. It's a lot more accessible than the previous games in the series. But
it definitely is a lot more fun and sort of player friendly than something in Elder Scrolls or anything like that.
It's so good, and it's not one of these games where you can choose like too much and like, oh, am I gonna talk my way through everything? But it does give you those kind of options as well. You can
talk to the monsters.
You can talk to the monsters. Why are you a monster? No, you get so much choice in what you can do, and it does have a proper impact. At the end of the game, you can see like what your choices have led to. And again, it's quite emotional, the ending, actually, if you've made all what you feel are the right choices for it. And you know what, it's a splendid game. It's been well supported with DLC as well.
Right, well that's 3 games down, let's find out what number 2 is. Come on you go, number 2. This is your duty. And you get...
So juicy. Juicy. Why is it juicy?
Number 2, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Why is it juicy?
In a year full of huge open world games, Xenoblade Chronicles X almost feels like a bit of a piss take. How much time do they think we've got to explore this massive, beautiful, incredibly well realised alien world in the most fully featured Japanese sci-fi RPG we've ever seen? The pricks. Amazing combat and really cool mechs are just the icing on the already oversized, delicious cake that we'll probably never finish eating.
So Xenoblade Chronicles X, Joe, why is it only number 2?
Well, it's only. You say
Only number two,
It's
I know.
the second best game of the year. I mean, have you seen the size of this game? It's fucking huge. Like, it's absolutely massive. But not only that,
And the game's quite big too.
It lets people like me fulfill our dream of playing a massive open game set in that sort of Japanese futuristic sci-fi world with mechs and all that. It's unbelievable how big this game is. It's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
But because it's that world, because it's that Japanese sci-fi world, it's got me hooked, you know. That's what I've been waiting for years, is to play a game that looks and sounds and it lets me live like that.
Open world games, like we've talked about quite a few here. We've talked about Metal Gear Solid 5, we've talked about Witcher 3. The difference this game has is, like, those are established worlds. Like, I mean, in Metal Gear you're walking about Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's Afghanistan, it's a, your fantasy world. This is actually a brand new alien landscape.
An alien planet,
Yeah.
and you're like the first people walking about on it.
Yeah.
And you're discovering landmarks and doing this, and you think, that's amazing. That's something that games very rarely give you these days.
I love the design of it as well. The mechs just look so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I love
The mechs do, the weapons look cool.
Yeah.
It's got fashion armour, which...
Aye, so you can choose the armour you want for the stats you want, but you can also choose the armour you want for how you want to look as well.
Yeah, which is brilliant as well, because there's nothing worse than having a ragtag, like, oh, that's a really good bit of armour, but it matches nothing else.
Well, for the longest time in the last game, in Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii,
Yeah.
I would run about with Shulk in his swimming trunks.
Swimming trunks were really good.
Because they were really good.
Yeah,
but this made him look a bit stupid because he had this like really heavy armour on his top half and just bare legs.
When it came to
skinny
cutscenes
legs.
and stuff, it was really weird. No, it's such an accomplished game.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'd say it's pretty much essential.
And it's also so big that we're probably never going to finish it.
No, never.
So it might end up being a number 2 game of 2016 as well.
Never know.
Well, that's us 4 down. It's time to find out what their number 1 game of the year is from the Christmas turkey. Go on, last one. On you go. And then grab it. What is it?
Splatoon.
So, our number 1 game, probably a wee bit of a controversial choice. Splatoon.
I know of a few people who won't agree with this, but
Yeah.
for me, the most fun I've had, moment to moment, playing any game this year has been Splatoon. Online, it's great fun. I don't play games online, especially not shooting games, but this is a shooting game that I play online quite regularly,
Yeah.
and I love it. It's the design of it, and it's the paint thing, and it's how it looks, and the weapons are all really stupid and really fun, like the big paint bucket and all that.
Considering this is the first proper shooting game Nintendo's made, they made a brave decision and they've supported it really well with DLC.
aye.
There's constantly
Yeah.
new weapons getting added. They've just an amazing attention to detail. The music is so fun.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite soundtracks ever. And the whole hub idea where there's always other people's little squids around just with their little Miiverse comments. It just fleshes out the world so
fun.
much.
What I like about it is that you never really feel cheated.
No,
Because
you
Mario
don't.
Kart,
Yeah.
we've said before, there's nothing worse than losing a Mario Kart because it's a painful loss.
Yeah.
This always feels like there'll be times when it's really close, like with like a percentage in it,
Yeah.
but you never feel like, oh, they just bowled us over there. It was just so easy. There was
And you always
nothing unfair
yeah.
happened, and it looks gorgeous.
It does look
It does
beautiful,
look.
yeah.
When you see loads of folk playing it, moving about, and it's running at a good clip,
Yeah.
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah, it reminds me of the like, golden days of like Jet Set Radio and the Wind Waker and all that. Like, beautiful art style.
Yeah.
Really well done. So yeah, it's my favourite game of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Or is it?
So that's our top 5 games of the year as salvaged from the Christmas turkey. You sure there's nothing else in there?
No, that's me empty, boys.
Yeah, nah, because I know what my favourite game of the year is, and I'm sure it must be in there, no?
I'm telling you, it's Splatoon.
Come on, there must be one more.
No, I'm empty.
Yakuza 5, you must have Yakuza 5 in there. It's my favourite game of the year, it must be in there.
Yakuza 5, I've not heard it, boys.
Well, we'll just have to sort that out then, eh?